I drove my drunk boss home, then she texted, "Did we make a mistake?" And I realized someone tried to destroy us. The first thing I remember is the smell of rain on hot asphalt and the weight of responsibility settling in my chest like a second heart. It was still daytime, the sky washed pale gold as the sun leaned toward evening, when I found myself guiding my boss into the passenger seat of my car, knowing that one small decision could quietly reroute the rest of my life. I did not know then that a single text message hours later would crack open a truth neither of us was prepared to face, or that kindness, once offered, would demand courage far beyond what I thought I had. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the quiet power of doing the right thing even when it's uncomfortable, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this matter because people like you make them matter. I had been working at the firm for 3 years, long enough to learn how to keep my head down and my work clean. The office was a glass and steel building that reflected sunlight like it wanted to blind anyone who looked at it too closely. My boss, Marissa Vale, ran the place with precision and distance. She was respected, feared, admired, and entirely alone in ways most people never noticed. I noticed because I lived on the edges too, a junior analyst with a dependable reputation and a quiet life that rarely drew attention. The company fundraiser was supposed to be a midday event, a bright lunch gathering with donors and speeches and polite laughter echoing under white tents. By early afternoon, something shifted. The laughter grew louder, the glasses emptied faster, and I saw Marissa standing apart, her smile slightly off, her posture loose in a way that didn't match her usual controlled presence. I knew immediately something was wrong. She had never been one to lose control in public, especially not during daylight. When the event wrapped up, I noticed her keys fumble from her hand. It wasn't dramatic, just a small, human moment that felt out of place. I stepped in without thinking. I told her I would drive her home. There was hesitation in her eyes, pride flickering, but exhaustion won. She nodded, and that nod felt heavier than any agreement I'd ever made. The drive was quiet, sunlight flickering through trees, the city moving around us like nothing unusual was happening. But everything felt unusual to me. I was aware of every turn, every breath, every responsibility layered onto my shoulders. I dropped her at her townhouse, watched her walk to the door, waited until she was inside. Then I drove away, convinced that was the end of it. Just a good deed. Just a line not crossed. The rest of the day passed slowly. I went home, tried to distract myself, replayed nothing and everything at once. Evening settled, and with it came that strange stillness that makes your phone feel heavier in your hand. That was when the message arrived. The screen lit up with her name, and beneath it the words that made my pulse jump. Did we make a mistake? I sat there, staring, confused. We had not done anything. Or so I thought. I typed and deleted responses, my mind racing through possibilities. Then another message followed, fragmented, uneasy, hinting at memory gaps and fear. Something in me shifted from confusion to alarm. This wasn't regret. This was panic. The next morning, daylight returned sharp and unforgiving. I went to the office early, determined to act normal, but the atmosphere had changed. Whispers followed me through hallways. Glances lingered too long. By noon, HR requested a meeting. The air in that room felt thinner, like it might tear if I breathed wrong. They spoke carefully, using words like concern and report and inappropriate conduct. Someone had filed a complaint suggesting something had happened between me and Marissa after the fundraiser. My stomach dropped. I realized then what her message had truly meant. Someone had planted doubt in her mind, had twisted a moment of vulnerability into something dangerous. I felt anger rise, not loud but steady, mixing with fear. I had always believed doing the right thing protected you. That belief cracked under pressure. Marissa avoided me at first, not out of anger but confusion. I could see it in her eyes when we finally spoke in private daylight hours, the way trust and fear wrestled inside her. She didn't accuse me, but she wasn't sure what to believe. Someone had told her a story detailed enough to feel real, and memory, when shaken, can betray you. The investigation moved fast. Emails were reviewed. Security footage was checked. Timelines were reconstructed. Every hour felt like a day. I questioned myself relentlessly, wondering if kindness had made me naive, if stepping in had marked me as a target. I stopped sleeping well. Food tasted flat. My sense of self felt like it was being audited by strangers. Then a small detail surfaced. A discrepancy in the parking log. A security camera angle that showed someone else near Marissa's car that afternoon, someone who had reason to resent both of us. A colleague whose ambitions had been stalled by Marissa's refusal to compromise her ethics. The story began to unravel, thread by thread. When the truth finally emerged, it did not arrive triumphantly. It arrived quietly, with apologies whispered in neutral offices and consequences handled behind closed doors. The complaint was dismissed. My name was cleared. The person who tried to destroy us was removed from the company. But relief was complicated. Damage lingers even after lies are exposed. Marissa asked to meet me, in a cafe flooded with afternoon light. She looked smaller somehow, more human, stripped of her armor. She apologized, not just for doubting me, but for the culture of distance she had built around herself. She admitted she had been afraid to trust anyone, and that fear had almost cost her an innocent man's future. I listened, feeling something soften in me. I realized that standing up for myself had also meant standing up for her, for truth, for the version of kindness that doesn't expect reward. We did not become close overnight. There was no dramatic transformation. But something real began there, built on honesty and mutual respect. Over time, the office changed. Policies were reviewed. Conversations became more human. I was promoted, not as compensation, but because my work and integrity had finally been seen clearly. Marissa stepped back from her pedestal, allowing herself to be supported instead of isolated. Looking back, I understand now that the mistake was not the ride home. The mistake would have been walking away from the truth out of fear. Kindness invites risk. Integrity demands endurance. And sometimes, the most dangerous thing you can do is prove that compassion and professionalism can coexist in a world eager to pit them against each other. As the sun sets on this story, I want to ask you something from the heart. If this journey moved you, if it reminded you that doing the right thing still matters even when it costs you sleep and peace, please like this video, comment your thoughts, and share it with someone who believes in standing firm when lies try to win. Your engagement keeps stories like this alive. Before we end, special request. Comment one word that this story made you feel. Just one word. Let's see how many hearts beat the same way today. I learned that day that daylight doesn't always protect you from shadows, but it does make it easier to see them for what they are. And when you choose kindness, even when it scares you, you don't just save yourself. You remind others that truth still has weight, and that sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is simply drive someone home and stand your ground when the world tries to turn it into something ugly.